Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Ryder back with another classic. Got some good game for y'all today. Want y'all hit that like and subscribe button for me, turn them notifications on. Let's get it. So this video is gonna be about why I decided to get into the trucking industry. It's gonna be a good little video. All right, so back in 2012, that's when I got my truck driver license, right? So I was going from warehouse to warehouse trying to make a way, and what back then I was probably making like $10 an hour the most, and I kept quitting these warehouse jobs because it was back-breaking work and I wasn't getting nowhere in life doing this stuff. Nowadays warehouses pay pretty decent. You can get you a good warehouse job for $20 and up, But back then, almost, 11 years ago, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? It was real bad how they treated people in those warehouses and the pay, And on top of taxes, you feel me? So, I wasn't bringing home nothing. I was doing back-breaking work for pennies, So I decided to try trucking. First I was gonna go into the Army. I was a young man trying to figure it out, and I was gonna go to the service, But things weren't working out, and that wasn't the route I took with my life, So I was frustrated, stressed out. I was down and out on my last. So I was thinking about, hey, why would I continue to unload these trailers and containers at these warehouses for pennies, because that's what they was paying me, when I can drive trucks and people can unload these same trailers and I make way more money doing it. So that's when I decided, I got a wake-up call, and I decided to sign up for trucking school. My trucking school experience was crazy because, a lot of people don't understand when you go to trucking school, you feel me, for that month or whatever you in trucking school, and the bills don't stop. So back then, I didn't have a good savings. I was broke as hell. I was barely making it in the world. So I decided to still continue to work a job, but I signed up for this little temp agency, and I found a graveyard job because, the trucking school I signed up for, AIT, American Institution of Trucking, that was in Fontana, California. They're no longer here. I think they moved to Phoenix. So I signed up for that school. It was 8 hours a day in that school. It was crucial. 8 hours a day in class for 2 weeks to study for the written test. So I had two full weeks of the written test. Then I had a 9 to 5 at night, because the trucking school only was early morning to like 7 until 3 o'clock. Then after that, I went to work. So I wasn't really getting no sleep. So I wasn't studying how I was supposed to for the test. It was crucial, right? So on top of everything, being in trucking school was the first time I drove a manual transmission in my whole entire life. I never, when it came to cars, I always had an automatic, never drove a stick, so it was kind of rough learning how to drive a stick in a big truck, so it was cool because when I was doing the written test, I wasn't really studying. So the first time I took the written test, I actually failed it, and I kind of got discouraged, you feel me? And I didn't want to do trucking no more after I failed that test. So I just locked down, and I was working like 6 days a week. So all the little free time I had, I was study. Then once I passed the written test, the school allowed me to go to the behind the wheel. So I went to the behind the wheel, right? That was crazy. Like my first experience ever, first time young man in a big diesel, you know what I'm saying, it was scary. You feel me? Like I got in that diesel, was kept stalling the truck because I didn't know how to shift gears. I couldn't figure it out. You know, I remember they took me one time on the freeway. I'm on the freeway trying to shift gears and stuff, and the truck stalls. You feel me? In the middle of the freeway because I didn't know what I was doing, you know. But once I got the hang of it, everything was easy breezy, you know. So, but it took me about a good 6 months to actually get my shifting down to where it needed to be. You feel me? It was real bad with my shifting. It sucked. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It sucked real bad. But after 6 months, I was good. So I did the written test. The behind the wheel was a whole different situation. It took me 3 times to pass the behind the wheel test. So if anybody's out there going to trucking school, you know, if y'all fail a few times, don't get discouraged. Just stay solid and keep your head up and keep hustling for it, and it's gonna come to you. So the first time I failed the pre-test, the pre-trip, I mean. You know, I failed the pre-trip, boom. They dinged me that one time, right? Then the second time I went, I passed the air brakes, the pre-trip. I did good. I passed the back in between the cones and the right turns and all that good stuff you do during the test. I passed that, right? But it was one situation when I took my road test. I ran over a curve, they dinged me, right? So that's 2 times that I failed. So the third time I did pretty good, you feel me? And if I would have failed again, then I would have had to start the whole process over, because you get 3 times, then you got to start all over. So the third time, I was doing everything perfect, right? Everything perfect. Pre-trip, air brakes, the backing, the road test, everything, right? So like right before I'm coming in the DMV, and I'm trying to go into the DMV, and I start the truck, right? But the instructor told me, I know you, I can fail you for that, and I'm supposed to fail you, but I'm not gonna do it because it's your third time taking it. So I almost had to start all over the whole process. So I ended up passing, getting my CDL, you know, and I chose to go with night transportation, right? I was gonna go with Warner at first, because, you know, when you're in trucking school, all the recruiters come and they talk to you. You know, I was really considering Warner and Swift, but once I got I think I went to an interview on Swift. I didn't like what they was talking about. Then it was a lot of bad reviews on Swift, and I know why. To this day, like, Swift has a bad reputation, not because of the company, because a lot of the drivers don't know how to drive at Swift, you know. So I didn't like that. I was gonna go to Warner, but I think Warner was trying to make me drive teams or something, and I was like, I'm good with that. You know, I don't really recommend teams, because I like to actually sleep on my 10-hour break. You know, and when you drive in teams, you don't really sleep on your 10-hour break because the rig is moving, right? So I called night transportation, see what they was talking about. Night was cool. You feel me? I just had to go. I had to go on the road with a trainer for a couple months. It was cool. So it took me like 2 weeks of waiting until they had an available trainer for me, right? So I'm out. I live in Fontana, so it was pretty cool. So I went to Fontana. I did the interview over there, did the drug test, and as I'm doing the behind the wheel test over there, I hit a trailer backing, so homeboy failed me, right? So, and that guy was real strict in Fontana. So I called the recruiter like, yeah, I feel so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to work for you guys. So the recruiter was cool and everything. So the recruiter suggested that I come to Phoenix and do the behind the wheel. So they set me up with a driver. Driver picked me up from Fontana, took me to Phoenix. They put me in a hotel and everything. Everything was good. So I was chilling in the hotel for like 3-4 days. Took the behind the wheel and passed it. It wasn't that difficult out there, right? So now when I'm past it, you know what I'm saying, I get a ride back to Fontana. So I'm waiting for another trainer to come through, and the first trainer, I guess he had to take some time off or something like that. So they made me wait for another trainer. So it took about almost a month before I actually got in the truck with a trainer, right? And that experience with the trainer, at first, I didn't like that experience, but you know, now looking back at it, I appreciate the trainer that they hooked me up with. And I still talk to this man every day. Not every day, from time to time, I still talk to this man a lot. So I get picked up from the trainer, finally ready to roll. Everything's good. You know, my first time driving, we were heading to Phoenix. We had a load to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? We got to from Fontana, we hopped on the 10, and right before we left Palm Springs, he pulled over on the side of the freeway, and he's like, okay, go for a drive. And I'm like, fuck. Now, it's 4 hours all the way left to go to Phoenix. I'm like, I ain't never drove no longer than 20-30 minutes doing the behind the wheel test and the road test. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, and it was nighttime too. So I drove all the way to Phoenix, dropped the load off, everything, right? So one thing I didn't like about being in the truck with a trainer is because I love my own space and my own privacy, right? And when you're with a trainer, you don't have no privacy, okay? And it was hard for me to sleep. I wasn't getting no sleep. For that whole 2 months I was with a trainer, I didn't get no sleep. I'm a real light sleeper when it comes to some stuff. And if I'm sleeping good and I feel a bump when I'm in the back of the bunk, guess what? I wake up and I can't sleep no more. So it was kind of I was real restless on that road, you know, away from my kid and everything. You know, and I got a little lonely being away from my kid and everything, but I wasn't really tripping because I knew what that sacrifice that I was making to be on the road for a year was going to be for me. You feel me? If I wouldn't have never made that sacrifice, then I wouldn't probably be driving now. Because a few guys that I went to trucking school with, you know, we all graduated trucking school together. Those guys didn't even last a few months in trucking because they're away from their family and they're having issues, relationship issues. I didn't give a damn about none of that. You know, I didn't let no relationship deter me from staying focused and trying to get a Class A driver's license and trying to get my career in trucking. You know, I had a goal, so I stuck through it. Even though I'm missing my son. My son was what? My son was 3 years old at that time. So he was small. So I was like, I got to make this sacrifice for a while. So we get to Phoenix and I'm like, okay, cool. So the next day we get a load and we're going all over the country. I mean, I'm going driving in crazy conditions, you know, but good thing it wasn't any snow. I didn't have to chain up, but that killed me when I actually got my own truck and I had to chain up on my own because I didn't get no training at all chaining up. So the situation with my trainer, you know, he really helped me when it came to backing. That was the number one thing that his best teaching was backing. And as you guys know, a lot of drivers cannot back. You feel me? But he was a good trainer. We got along pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It was a great experience. But I didn't like somebody else driving when I'm sleeping and vice versa, because the way I feel, if I'm taking a 10-hour break, I should be sleep and relaxing. The wheels shouldn't be moving. But some people like driving teams. It's not for me. So when I'm done with the training and everything, I get dropped back off in Fontana. It took like 2 months. But then it took like another almost a month for them to get me a truck. So I finally get my truck. I get flown to Phoenix. They fly me to Phoenix, put me in another hotel. I finally get my truck and I get my first load in Phoenix. And my very first load, I knocked over a gate, right? And I'm like, oh shit, they gonna fire me, this and that. You know, it wasn't a big gate, but the people at the warehouse, of course, they were mad. When I was backing up, I kind of messed up a little bit. You know, I was already nervous, like, damn, I finally got my truck. I'm out here by myself, and boom, knocked over the gate. So I'm thinking like they gonna make me come to the office. They finna fire me already. Because that's like a rule, like you knock over gates or any little thing that you do, if you're new, they'll fire you for it, you feel me? But, you know, that was pretty cool. They talked me through it. Everything was good. So I completed my my first load in Phoenix. And it was on after that. So after I got that little jitter out of my soul, you know, I did my first load. You know, I felt real confident driving trucks, you know, by myself, you know. And it was a bad situation, you know. I was in a bad relationship, you know, always fighting and stuff, but I needed that separation from myself, you feel me, so I can stay more focused in life. So I was on the road for a year. The most craziest experience that I ever experienced driving trucks was in Colorado. I'm in Colorado, I'm coming down that 70 highway, you know. I didn't know no better about the 70, you know. The 70 is a dangerous highway if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm coming down the mountain, and I'm going like I got a heavy ass load, so I'm going probably like 60 miles an hour. Then I look up, and the speed limit keep on dropping. I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be at 35. So I'm trying, and I was a bad shifter back then, so I'm trying to like shift gears and slow down. But I guess what happened was I was fanning the brakes too hard, and the brakes got hot. Right, the brakes got hot, and the motherfuckers caught on fire. The brakes caught on fire, y'all. I'm driving down the freeway, you know, and this happens right when I pass the runaway ramp, because I'm shitting brakes at this time. So the brakes on fire, and I'm tapping the brakes, and I'm going faster. I'm not slowing down at all. I'm going faster, you know what I'm saying, hitting these damn brakes. So it got real bad. I'm blowing my horn. I got the damn flashers on. And I'm like, please don't wreck. Please don't wreck. You know, I'm praying, all type of stuff. So I decided to just say, get on the shoulder. And luckily, I was going back up a hill. So once I got on the shoulder and I was going back up a hill, I was able to slow down, and it stopped on its own. So I got to put on the brakes, hop out, get the fire extinguisher, spray my brakes down. It's crazy. Right? I called them. I'm thinking I'm going to get fired again. Like, damn. You know, the truck all smoky and stuff, and they wasn't even tripping. They're like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. You just gotta be careful. But that's a lesson learned for me. I always pay attention to the speed limit. If you're going down the mountain, it say 25, 15, I'm going that exact speed. I'm not going no faster. You know, and that helped me with a lot of trouble too out there. And another crazy experience is when I was in Northern California, on the 80 highway, Northern California. I mean, it was crazy snow up there, right? And I didn't know how to chain up. So we got to a particular spot on the mountain the mountain is blocked off, and they're making everybody get off the freeway. If you want to go up more, you got to pull over and chain up. And I'm like, chain up? I ain't never chained up before. So I got on YouTube, put on a video on how to chain up, and I was chaining up. It took me like an hour and a half to figure out how to chain up. Fingertips is frozen because I had gloves, but I didn't have good enough gloves to, you know what I'm saying, for chains. The chains is frozen. I'm fingertips is frozen. I'm getting frostbites on my feet. You know, like it was cold, snowing. So I finally chained up, and we're driving. All the truckers is driving, and like the speed limit was like 25 because of the snow. Like the snow plows was getting rid of the snow, but that wasn't helping at all. It was pouring down snow, right? And once I got past all the bad snow, then they make you pull over, and you got to take off your snow chains. I get outside, y'all, to take off my snow chains, and half of the damn snow chains is gone. You know, so like that's why the moral of those little stories I just told y'all, a lot of drivers, they always ask me about becoming an owner-operator fresh out of trucking school. Don't do it. Don't do it. I recommend a lot of drivers, all drivers should go get that year of OTR experience. Just to improve your driving skills. Because for me, if I didn't go out there and get that year of driving experience, then I wouldn't be the trucker that I am today. You know what I'm saying? Because most people don't last 1 to 2 years in trucking. They get their trucking license and they don't drive no more. Either they lose their license, get in wrecks. And a lot of the new truck drivers from the gold rush, we call it the gold rush of 2020 and 2019, when the rates was popping and all these new truck drivers is coming out here and buying all these trucks with no experience. A lot of those guys aren't in the industry no more. And if you look at their YouTube channels, they're selling equipment, they're quitting and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that they're doing that, and it's sad because, you know, this situation with trucking changed my whole entire life, you know, because I don't know where I would be without trucking, because my dreams and goals in life was always to own my own business. I was going to college to get a business degree, but the way I looked at it, I dropped out of college. I'm like, why go to college for them to teach me how to run my business when, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to go work for nobody else. That never has been my goal. So to me, going to college for a business degree was kind of like a waste of time. I just needed to learn the basics on how to start a business and how to keep a business, you know. But that little bit of knowledge that I got from college, a lot of that stuff I don't use at all in my everyday business. The only thing that I probably use is all the stuff that I learned about income and expenses and stuff like that from accounting. But anything else, no, I don't use none of that stuff. Like marketing, I use a little bit of marketing. Marketing is good when you grow and you want to market your business and get other employees. The HR class I took was pretty cool too. But all that other stuff, I feel, in my opinion, I feel you don't need that, because like I did it and I'm not using the majority of the stuff I learned. But I kind of feel like trucking saved me from getting in trouble in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I was already going down a bad road on my younger days, but if I didn't make that sacrifice and get into trucking, then I probably would still be in the streets doing dumb stuff, you know what I'm saying, getting in trouble, you know. But me being in the streets wasn't good, but I kind of took that same mentality and that same hustle I had from the streets, and I put it into my trucking business, you know. And that's why a lot of people don't understand, if you're not a real hustler, then you're not going to survive in any kind of business that you have, because if you have your own business, you got to hustle. A business is like your business, you got to hustle. You got to get up every day and try to get some money with your business. You got to make phone calls. You got to network. You got to do this and do that. Like, your business is your livelihood. And I took that same mentality from the streets and put it into this, put it into trucking. Because even when I was a company driver, I put that same mentality. Like, I wake up in the morning, I need the miles. You getting paid miles? I need all the miles I can get. Let's hustle and get these miles. And a lot of people get into trucking and they get lazy. Like, it's more than sitting on your ass and driving when you're driving these trucks. It's more of a mental thing than anything. Like, 90% of truck driving to me is mental. Like, when you're on that road, you're checking mirrors. You like, don't hit this car. Watch what they doing over there. This guy just cut me off. Like, you got to use your brain. When you're parking, don't knock this down. Do this, do that. Like, you're using your brain more than anything, you know. But I advise, if you're a young man out there or a young woman and you're not making, you don't have no trades, and you didn't go get a college degree, you know, you didn't make a lot of money. You're not making a lot of money where you're at. If you're thinking about getting into trucking, no matter what you see on YouTube right now, this is just a season that we're going through, a bad season. No matter what you're seeing right now, get into trucking. All those owner-operators out there thinking about selling their equipment, don't sell your equipment. Just park your truck. If you got to park your truck right now and go work for a company for a couple months until things get better, then guess what? Do that. But don't sell your equipment, because trucking is going to be back booming real soon. You just got to be patient and know that once these loads start popping up on a load board and you be seeing these big loads, you're going to be like, hold up, it's time to get some money now. But if you ain't got no equipment, if you sell all your equipment, then guess what? You got to start that process all over. And who knows, once the rates get better and things get back to normal, who knows if they're going to put the price up on the trucks again like they did. Trucks might be more expensive. Who knows if the gas is going to be crazier now. But if you already got your equipment and you surviving, if you got to park it, park it. If you got to park it for a month or two, park it. Do what you got to do. But don't give up, because these better days is coming for trucking. And y'all going to appreciate the struggle and the hard time. You know, I come from the struggle, you know. Like, my childhood and my young adulthood wasn't easy, so you know, I'm used to struggle and stuff like this. When you can bypass this struggle that we're going through in trucking, then guess what, y'all? When the better days come, you're gonna breeze through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know how to handle adversity. You feel me? Like, right now, that's what we're going through. And once you handle this in the right way, then once trucking get back good, you're going to be able, if nobody learned nothing about this situation we're going through, when things get better, the number one thing everybody needs to learn how to do is save your damn money. Okay? Say, like, if this happens again in the future for like 90 days or a couple months, you should be able to park. If you got one truck, you should be able to park your truck and go on vacation and don't even care, because you got emergency funds and a good savings. You know, if you got multiple trucks, it's going to be a little harder for you to do that because you got a company to run. But that's why it's important to save your money when you are getting these good loads, and build relationships with customers and bigger companies, so you'll always have work and just don't depend on brokers and the load board. You know, you got to build relationships with other drivers too, to where if they know where to get some work from and their situation is better than yours, then you can call them and they can give you advice and you can go where they're at. You know, don't be afraid to network. Don't be afraid to call companies and try to talk to them and negotiate. Like, it seems like drivers are scared to negotiate, and drivers are scared to tell the brokers and other companies, you know what? No, I'm not taking it. This is not beneficial for my business. So I'm sorry. I need a higher rate. And if you can't give me that higher rate, then you know what? Then I have to look somewhere else. You know, but thank you for the opportunity. I'll keep your contact. Hopefully we can do business in the future. You know, you don't be rude with them and be like, oh hell no, I'm not taking that low. Click. Then once you see that the loads is going, the rates for the loads are higher, then you want to go back to them same people. They gonna be like, nah, they hung up in my face. Even when they're rude to us, you just gotta stay humble and so I'll be like, okay, no problem, thank you, and get off the phone and end the conversation. You know, but we gonna be in a better situation with trucking real soon. But that's why I chose trucking. You know, and I hope you guys like this this little story I'm telling you about trucking. So that I hope that motivates more people in trucking school when they watch this video, or people that's thinking about getting into trucking that watch this video, or gives hope to owner operators out there to not give up, y'all. And that's the moral of the story. Whatever you go through in life, never give up. I don't care what it is. I done been in dark places in life, went through so much. But if you don't never give up and you always fight, then that's how you win in life. And that's what we got to do right now. We got to fight why these rates is low and things is messed up in the trucking industry. We have to fight, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I hope y'all like this video. Comment, let me know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get it, y'all.